Good evening. I am Adebare Ejimakide, the evening news. As Governor Ademola Adeleke clocks 63 tomorrow, President Muhammadu Buhari has congratulated him on the occasion of his birthday. The president, who joined Adeleke's family, friends, associates, and the people of Osun State in celebration of his day, also eulogized his easygoing outlook, saying it has won in fan base across people of all ages. Buhari's goodwill messages is contained in a statement issued by his special advisor on media and publicity, Mr. Femi Adesina. President Muhammadu Buhari rejoices with Governor Ademola Adeleke as he celebrates another prosperous years. President Buhari affirms that the senator who represented Osun West in the upper chamber of the National Assembly solidified his base and gradually built a formidable network of friends and political allies that have helped his many victories. Buhari, who congratulated the governor on his victory at the Supreme Court, charged him to use his victory to work for the well-being and progress of the people and trust God for proper guidance. Meanwhile, Governor Ademola Adeleke has been described as a leader whose unique skills, humanity, and experience are major assets that will take development of Osun State to a greater height. The umbrella body of all sons and daughters of Iwo Land, Iwo Board of Trustees, IBOT, stated this in a congratulatory message to Senator Ademola Adeleke on his triumph at the Supreme Court as the governor of Osun State, as well as his 63rd birthday anniversary. A message signed by the president of the body, Professor Lai Oluode, and Secretary Are Jire Ayinla, says the Oba Abdulrasheed Akabitelu I, members of the Board of Trustees, as well as all sons and daughters of Iwo Land, felicitate with the governor on this auspicious occasion. The statement further indicated that the Supreme Court verdict that pronounced Senator Ademola Adeleke as governor did not come as a surprise, as the people voted him overwhelmingly in the interest of the peace, progress, and development of the state. The group, however, prayed God to grant the governor longevity, vitality, and wisdom on the occasion of his birthday anniversary. The Aragbiji of Iragbiji, Oba Abdulrasheed Olabomi, has felicitated with Governor Ademola Adeleke on his victory at the Supreme Court. In a letter personally signed by Oba Olabomi, he saluted the tenacity, doggedness, and perseverance of the governor, describing the Supreme Court judgment as the will of Allah. Oba Olabomi called on Governor Adeleke to see the people of Iragbiji as partners in progress, adding that they are ready to cooperate with the governor. He reiterated the commitment of the people of Iragbiji to the success of the Adeleke administration. The president-elect Bola Tinubu has been urged to make construction of affordable houses for citizens a priority. The president of the Nigerian Institute of Building, Professor Yohana Izam, made the plea at a two-day mandatory continuous professional development workshop for its members in Abuja. Izam said that there was an urgent need for mass housing provision in the country to ameliorate the housing deficit. According to him, the provision of mass housing will not only address the housing deficit, but will also solve a social welfare problem, and it will also reflect the economy that will create jobs for their teeming populace. The federal government has said that it will no longer be responsible for correctional management of state offenders, urging state governments to build and manage their own custodial facilities as empowered in the newly amended Nigerian Correctional Service Act of 2019. Minister of Interior Rauf Aregbesola said even though the justice system clearly segments states and federal offenders, the federal government has been the only one in charge of custodial facilities in the country. But in order for reforms in the corrections services to be visible, the Constitution has been amended. He made this known at a two-day high-level conference on the Congestion and Corrections Administration in Abuja. According to the minister, Nigeria presently has 244 custodian centers, with the bulk of them being in the state capitals and the centers which have a provision for 52,278 inmates exceeded their limit by over 23,000. The minister pointed out that the primary objectives of the constitutional amendment on corrections assented to by President Muhammadu Buhari is to remedy the overcrowding of the custodial centers resulting from a high number of pre-trial detentions, arbitrary arrest. The federal government has launched barite processing plant to minimize high rate of illegal mining and smuggling in the South-South geopolitical zone of the country. Minister of Mines and Steel Development Olamileka Adegbite stated this during the commissioning of barite processing plant in Uganda Yala local government area of Cross River State. According to a statement by the ministry's head of press, Fumi Imoetinyan said that the new launched plant will create over 20,000 jobs along the mining value chain in the South-South zone area. Adegbite noted that the plant would improve revenue generation of the artisanal and small-scale miner subsector operators and government, adding that the project will increase the rate and exports of value-added products and services and attracting foreign and local investment. The Minister of State for Mines and Steel, Senator Gbemisola Sharaki, said the federal government desired to assist the artisanal and small-scale miners in order to stem incessant illegalities that have fraught the subsector in the country. The Rivers State government has begun the demolition of a set of buildings belonging to the Bayelsa State government on Akasa Street, Old GRA axis of Port Harcourt. The property are on a large expanse of land at numbers 5 and 9 Akasa Street in the High Brown Old GRA axis. Bayelsa was created out of Rivers State by late military head of state General Sani Abacha on 1st October 1996. The vacation notice issued before the demolition states that in contravention of the covenants and conditions contained in the certificate of occupancy issued to Bayelsa State government in respect of the plots golf course extension layout, Port Harcourt, Rivers State notified that the occupants of the said property should vacate. The notice also says that as the said building are not only constituting public nuisance but also defacing the Rivers State government's urban renewal infrastructure development policies as relates to the golf course OGRA layout. And now to sports story. Golden Eaglets hopes of qualifying for the 2023 Under-17 World Cup and winning the Under-17 African Cup of Nations for the first time in 16 years were dashed following a 2-1 quarter-final defeat to fellow West African Burkina Faso. Forward Abubakar Kamara scored a brace to help the Burkina Babe to a 2-0 lead at the Nelson Mandela Stadium in Algiers, but Eagles forward Abubakar Abdullahi reduced the deficit midway through the second half, but it was not enough as the Baby Stallions sailed a hard-fought win to reach the last four of the Under-17 AFCONs in Algeria, as well as seal a World Cup ticket. Eagles coach Nduka Mbade did not make any changes to the team that defeated South Africa 3-2 in their last group game, and they made a fine start to the game but struggled to break Burkina Faso's defense. And now to foreign stories. Nearly a week of talks, Sudan's warring parties have signed a deal to alleviate the suffering of the civilian population, but made a little progress towards peace. Reports gathered that this is a first step to providing relief for trapped civilians. They agreed to allow safe passage for people leaving battle zones, protect relief workers, and not to use civilians as human shields. However, they did not agree to pause the fightings. Reports say there are more airstrikes and shelling in the capital, Khartoum, today following the talks mediated by the U.S. and Saudi Arabia, the host country. U.S. officials said they are hopeful of safe delivery of relief supplies as both sides committed to let in badly needed humanitarian assistance after looting and attacks that targeted aid. However, the United States said that the conflicting parties are still quite far apart when it comes to brokering peace. That ends the evening news on OSBC TV. Join us at 7 for major reports. Good evening.